de estatura un poco alto. Buenas noches, buenas noches. Okay. Bad. Good night, everyone. It's Hector here. Finally.
What up, bro?
What up?
I was trying to do it from here, that's why. See that? But I can't. See, check it out.
That is good.
See?
Yeah. But you're on the phone now, right?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. I was trying to do it from this computer, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Joe already invited you, bro. Saludos, Mirak.
What up, what up, what up? Miraculous.
Where's Joe?
I'm waiting for him.
Good night to everyone. This is
our live.
This is
Welcome to Hector's to Primer Camion Transportation 101.
First round.
That was good. Sounded like a WWE. Yeah, you need to get on your phone or it won't work on your computer, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, my content is almost in every language now. So English, Turkish, Spanish. It's about to win.
Look, bro, I'm losing more hair.
Hey fellas, I'm on now.
This is the English version, so you don't have to worry about speaking in Spanish. No, Español.
I am kind of a TikTok novice, so I guess my phone works better instead.
No, it's just like I've been trying to get on the link, like in my computer, it won't work, bro. I haven't figured it out. I could watch the live. I can't join the live. That makes sense.
Awesome. All right, well we're on, guys. Pleasure to work with you guys and see what we can provide the group with.
All right, we got 13 people in here. Let me see if more people are coming. Hold on. There might be people behind the scenes watching too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people behind the scenes.
They don't want you to know that you're on. What do you guys think? Make America trucking great again. MAGA instead of MAGA.
Oh my God. I think every day we hear something about El Presidente, no more.
Dude, every day comes up with new rules.
Yeah.
It's like fucking shit. I guess not new rules, enforced rules that weren't being enforced.
Yeah, and this time sending people with a gun to enforce them, you know.
People are crazy, man. People getting shot up everywhere.
Yeah, you got that right.
Dude, I mean, the guy from he was a CIA, like, from what country?
Yeah, CIA trained. Yeah.
Yeah, and then fucking he just fucking killed 2 people. It's
And
crazy.
those guys were assassins too. Even if you know about them in the military, they were told to kill someone, they just straight up
Killed
shot
him.
them. They're like the worst in a cartel.
Yeah, it's crazy. Can we say cartel in here, Hector? Can't say cartel.
Okay.
I mean,
Like
I can't.
Hector lives in Reynosa. Address is 123. Come get me.
There, you know,
Come get me Avenue.
they know.
they need to know much
They
about
don't need
trucking like
you.
we do. They need to understand
I'm
about
just
as much as everyone, right?
I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to make sure that they knew that I'm on their side. I'm on their
Whenever,
side.
whenever you're in Mexico, you're on their side, right?
Yeah, I'm on their side.
I am on nobody's side.
You need you need Hector's phone number 816-232-1476.
I am on nobody's side. I like everyone.
Tara. Monday Night Live, yes, Tara. We do Mondays in English and Fridays in Spanish. All right, let's go ahead and start. That way we could move on.
Right. I first of all just want to say I promise I'm not ugly. I'm trying to figure out with Hector how to show my camera. So I
You
will
gotta
get on
click.
camera soon.
You gotta click on your
You
little
gotta
box.
you need to click on the little camera box.
Yeah, your little box, the DOT CSA, and then it'll pop up and say it'll give you options like effects and effects much.
It says live access needed to go live as a guest. You can go live on audio.
Oh, there you go. No worries. All right, Hector. Introduce everybody. What we're doing today, and then we'll let the show run. For all those people watching, we have a WhatsApp group that we share our lives on and all the contents on. Our goal is to help the trucking industry and the small guys. We found out a lot of people are charging for training, and it's not even training. It's like you go to a class and they talk to you about freight for 4 or 5 hours, and so we don't think that could be covered in 4 to 5 hours. I went to a training myself in Atlanta to one of the dispatch courses that were sold because I wanted to see what they did. They didn't cover anything when it came to the safety aspect, the onboarding aspect, how to. They just talked about how to go out and make $1,200 a day in order to stay afloat to cover your costs. They didn't tell you how to shop for insurance companies, factoring companies, fuel companies. We're doing all that for free, so we'd appreciate if you could share this to as many people as you guys want. We think that people take advantage of lack of knowledge, and we're not here to take advantage of anybody. We're trying to just promote a better industry, and that way it's a lot easier. Typically, we don't deal with cargo vans. We do have a group for cargo vans. Hector runs that, but it's a very specialized group. We focus in on big trucks and hot shots because that's what we know. We
Heavy
understand
duty
it really
trucks.
well. Yeah, heavy duty trucks. But if we're able to answer questions for box trucks and cargo vans, we're going to shoot for it. So if you have questions, don't worry. My name is Santa Claus, and so thanks for watching, guys. Got to get glasses on.
Where's Joe again?
Joe, I don't know, Joe.
That's so cool, man.
What's so cool?
That you guys can do all this. I feel old. I feel elderly. Ya tengo 51 años, and you guys do all this stuff with TikTok.
So just you guys can know. Please don't pay for dispatch courses.
Do not pay for dispatch courses at all.
And don't pay right now. Year is almost over. Right now it's 1st of December. So owners, operators, independent trucking. They work until the 14, 17, most likely. I mean, big carriers, I mean, 500 truck, 1,000, they keep working, but independent, they go home. So you're gonna pay for a dispatch course right now when they gonna work like for 2 more weeks? Stupid. So save your money, come here with us and learn. So Joe, last time we talked about compliance, right?
Yeah.
We already covered a lot of issues on road tests and qualification of the CDL driver. But let's talk about DQ files.
DQ files.
Yes.
Okay. And like Hector said, you know, and what JJ mentioned about broker courses, dispatch courses, there is no value in paying for safety courses. Come to us. We are a resource. We're here to help. We can provide you resources with that. There is no one out there that is DOT certified. There is no such thing as anyone that say their course is DOT certified. The U.S. Department of Transportation does not certify anyone to do anything. That's the biggest thing you'll see with courses that are out there. There may be some retired DOT inspectors that understand the regulations a little bit. The reality is most motor carriers and drivers know the rules better than the DOT does, because DOT inspectors go through like a 3 to 5 day class to do DOT inspections. Federal safety investigators have to go through a 10 to 11 week of pass or fail academy. Then they spend years out there in the field working with various motor carriers. So there's a big difference between an investigator and an inspector. So if you see something pushed by a former police officer or an inspector, of course, they're not going to teach you jack. You can learn more about the regulations through ChatGPT. So don't pay for a course. There's courses that are out there that are hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. You're going to just throw your money away. So Hector, your focus, Hector, this week is on driver qualification files.
Yeah, as a company, what would you need to have to employ a CDL driver?
So the most important thing with CDL drivers is the number one, and if everyone had the chance to open up the FMCSA site and look at closed enforcement cases, all the way back to fiscal year 2018, the FMCSA will publish all the enforcement cases where motor carriers have to pay federal penalties. And if you look at some of these cases, there are $175,000 in penalties, down to as little as $1,500. The one common thing that you'll see, and I know Hector mentioned DQ, but it's connected to DQ, is your drug and alcohol testing. So make sure that whatever you do with your DQ files is connected to your drug and alcohol testing, because they complement each other. For instance, if you...
So Joe, let's stop you real quick so you can explain the drug and alcohol testing really quick so they have a better understanding of that.
Yeah.
And why it's connected. So stop there and then you can continue.
A driver is not qualified to do anything unless you have given them a proper pre-employment drug screen, and within 30 days of that pre-employment drug screen, they have been enrolled in a random testing program within 30 days. So if you gave a driver a pre-employment test and for some reason they don't get back to you back and forth, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, if you go beyond 30 days from that last pre-employment, you got to get them pre-employment tested again, because you have more than 30 days and you have not put them in a random testing program. So just giving them a pre-employment a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 months ago is not enough. Now, what does that mean? That means that once you put your driver in a driver qualification file program, you already are in violation of the whole thing again. So
that is very important. Real quick recap, Joe. What don't you do for drug and alcohol?
What don't you do?
Yeah.
You don't do drugs and alcohol. No.
Even if it's fun.
Even if it's fun, guys. But basically, don't be in violation. It's really simple to be in violation of the FMCSA. You could if you do get audited, your SOL because you did it before. Make sure that you follow the processes that Joe laid out. Go ahead, Joe. Continue with the
Well, the
more
biggest
of
thing
the
with the
knowledge.
drug and alcohol is not just the pre-employment test. Now you have to do the clearinghouse query checks as well, the pre-employment queries and the annual queries. So your driver isn't qualified. Everyone thinks driver qualification is a good MVR, a good medical card, and that's it. Well, no, driver qualification means that you have done your pre-employment query check because there's tens of
Now,
thousands of drivers out there that get popped.
okay,
And
let's start. Let's go in order. Like driver qualification file means that we need to have a list of a list of documents that qualify the driver. First of all, is driver application of employment, right?
correct. Yes, and that application is very important because the FMCSA does provide a free example of an application. So if you're using your own application, my recommendation is to compare it to the FMCSA's application on their website. It's under their site that's called FMCSA Forms Library. The regulation is 49 CFR 391.21.
Yeah,
So take your
21. Yeah,
application.
that CFR says like the driver must not drive a CMV unless an application for employment is completed and signed, right?
Correct. Yes.
So even if you download an application from Google, you need to have application employment that comply with CFR 391 point that 21, right?
Sure, and there's lots of components under 391.21 that should make up an application. So if you download some application off of Google, it may miss out on those components. So compare yours to the FMCSA's form. You can even use the FMCSA's form itself. Okay. Matter of fact, you get an audit and the FMCSA says you did something wrong, or you're going to show them here's the same form that you have on your website. So it's going to be very difficult for them to do something. Now, the problem with the application again is people that may submit an application and sign it. Well, guess what? If that application becomes more than 30 days old, you have to do it again. Keep in mind, there's always a 30-day window with everything, with drug and alcohol testing, with applications, everything. You got to get stuff done within 30 days of onboarding a driver, or else you're SOL. Okay, you have to start the process all over again. Okay.
So part of the initial documents where we talk about driver's application for employment. So we have also driver road test certificate or equivalent.
Yes. Now the equivalent that's under 49 CFR 391.31, I believe.
21.
The road test.
No, 31.
Correct, Hector?
31.
Yeah.
31.
So the road test rule is interesting. I want to explain that really quickly because in the past there used to be things called a chauffeur's license. Okay.
Yeah.
There wasn't different types of CDLs. It was just a chauffeur's license. So the FMCSA didn't exist. It was called the Office of Motor Carriers under the Federal Highway Administration, and they wanted to make sure that if you put a driver in a vehicle, that driver could safely operate that type of vehicle to which they were assigned. But now, what's changed is that there's different classes of CDLs. So the road test equivalent under 31, there's an FMCSA exemption that if you have a copy of your driver CDL in file, then it will take place of that rule. Okay, so you can have a copy of that CDL. Then the DOT will ask, okay, what type of vehicle are they using? And if that matches the endorsement or the class of CDL, then you're fine. Okay. Now, lots of people still do the road test for risk management purposes. If I was a motor carrier, I would still do the road test. But you also have to understand that the road test can be important too, because some vehicles today are equipped with different safety features and functions. So drivers are slip seating from one vehicle to the next. You guys know more than anyone that a Freightliner is going to be different from a Mack, right? So be familiar with your vehicles, and if your vehicles differ greatly from like lane protection, anti-accident mitigation type of technology. Drivers need to be aware of those things because there are rules within the maintenance regulations and part of the driver qualification regulations for drivers to be familiar with their vehicles before they start driving.
Of course.
Okay. So a CDL driver has a requirement and a responsibility to be familiar with their CDL vehicle. And if they're not, they shouldn't be driving it. That's the reality. So that's what the road test is.
Just so people understand, who can perform a road test to a driver in your company?
There's nothing particular in any of the federal regulations that say you have to be trained or certified to do a road test. It's basically someone else that has that same license that covers that vehicle. Okay.
Joe, we have a good question. As an owner operator, I need to have driver application for employment?
Yes. Everyone needs to have everything under 49 CFR 391.
If you're driving,
you're one owner,
you need to have a DQ file.
You need to have a DQ file. You even have to have a drug and alcohol test, and you need to be in a random testing program.
Of course, even if you're one driver.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you would do as a one owner, one driver type company, you would put yourself in a pool, in a random testing pool with another company that would randomly draw your name. And if the FMCSA finds out that they selected you and you never went to get the test, then you would be considered a positive driver. So it's very important that you comply with the program.
Very important. So anyone at the company can perform the road test, right?
Yes, anyone in the company that can be signed off by management as competent to give the road test can do the road test.
Okay. And the smart thing to do is to keep record of that road test, right? Like pictures or a video, and of course having a certificate that you performed that road test. I mean,
yeah, it's very important again because you want to reduce risk, right? And if you by reducing risk, if something happens and you have the documents to show that you did what you can and it was an act of God, right?
Yeah,
that can help.
People need to understand, Joe, that compliance and risk mitigation, it is different.
Yeah, they are very different. Yeah. Yeah. So to start off, the application is very important. There's a regulation called investigations and inquiries, and that's where you do your legwork on the application. If they say they used to work for JB Hunt or Swift, unfortunately, then you have to follow 391.23 to do your best to check their background. Now, the rules are a little bit vague, but if a driver says they used to work for Swift about 2.5 years ago, and then you try to pick up the phone, Swift's not answering, then the rules basically say to make an attempt. As long as you make an attempt, make a document. Don't just say you called, write it down on a little notepad or a piece of paper and throw it in a file. Okay? There doesn't need to be 2 or 3 attempts or whatever. You can just do one. One's enough. A fax, email. It can even be a phone call. Just write it down that you did it, time and date.
And it's important that people need to know that they need to use the information that you get from your employee.
Yeah, it's very important.
In order to attempt, and they give you a phone number or a fax number or email, you need to use that email. Even
use everything that they write.
Because it's in the application.
Yeah, and heck, I'm glad Hector talked about that because, see, if you don't use what the information the employee provided you, and you leave something,
it's not an attempt.
Yeah, it's not going to help you out when you actually have to use it for your own purposes. Because at the end of the application, the employee does something very responsible that helps protect you. They sign their name on that application. Okay.
Previous employer verification is not required after Clearinghouse.
No, that's not true.
I got my company audit pass. What does you enter and safety audit? That's not an audit.
And you have to remember, Clint.
Yeah.
You have to remember, Clint. There's a safety audit, and then there's a federal investigation. When I was with the FMCSA, we did safety audits. A safety audit takes 2 or 3 hours. They don't really look at you. They check a couple of boxes. There's
about a checklist.
It's a checklist. Yeah, it's about 40-something questions. And Because there's too many companies, we had to tell these auditors, don't take too long, take 2 or 3 hours at the most, because you got to have to do 40, 50 audits in 1 month. Okay. When I did federal investigations for the FMCSA, we took 2 to 3 weeks at a motor carrier. Okay. So, and then also, just like there are good truckers and bad truckers, there's lazy auditors and there's good auditors. There's good investigators and bad investigators. Just because you pass a safety audit doesn't mean that they looked at everything they're going to ask you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and maybe Clint doesn't know, but Joe is a former FMCSA DOT investigator.
Surprise, Clint.
So,
He wrote some of the rules too.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote some of the rules. I mean,
Yeah, we have experience, Clint, with helping write the the electronic logging device regulations, the drug and alcohol clearinghouse. Well, we're fortunate down in South Texas. I have connections with the guy that wrote the drug and alcohol rules that we all see today. So, that's the issue is a lot of folks don't understand the difference between a safety audit and a safety investigation. Those are two very different things.
yeah, we're not guessing here, Clint. That's the difference. I mean, we're not. This is not an opinion. We're reading the rules and try to give you the best interpretation about the rule.
Yeah, and we learn ourselves all the time too. I mean, there's no such thing in this line of work as a subject matter expert. I'm always learning from Hector or JJ about things that, even from my own perspective of the rules. JJ asks me these questions from hazmat, and it makes me look at the rules again and realize I haven't read my hazmat rules for a while.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
there's a lot of laws. There's a lot of DOT laws. If you look at it, there's a big ass book for it. Not everybody's perfect, but we don't try to interpret things. We just try to give you an explanation based off of what's written.
Yeah, the best interpretation about the what is written. So we're not guessing. It's not an opinion. We have an
Right.
expert. We have an expert, and it's me.
And honestly, like it's good to have these chats, Clint, because I make mistakes and I say some of the shit that I don't think I know. But that's why I always ask. Today, and I'll give you an example. I did message Joe because one of my clients that we get lanes for, we got them some lanes, and then they put hazmat on there, but it was only 175 pounds, Joe, or something like that.
yeah.
And I asked Joe, I was just like, hey, do they need a hazmat license? Because now my client was like saying, hey, I don't want to move these loads because I'm going to get popped by a DOT inspector if I get pulled over, and we're going to get shut down and the points are going to be high. It's always good to get that information from somebody that's an actual expert, not a guest, not Chat GPT. Just make sure that you talk to an expert, and that's why we're here. That's why we give all the information.
Just
And I wanna
real life
make that
experience
point.
on the subject.
And I want to
Right,
read that point that JJ.
yeah,
Sorry,
until
go
now
ahead.
we have driver application for employment, driver road test, safety performance, previous employees, and we have safety performance history records, Yo.
Safety performance history record.
91.23.
What was the regulation?
391.23.
Yeah, so 391.23 encompasses all kinds of investigations and queries. A safety performance history request means that you're asking the previous employer about any situations with drugs, maybe accidents or other events. Okay. The really cool thing about this is the FMCSA has a form for that as well. It's under the FMCSA forms library. Do not try to make your own effort. Use the FMCSA's forms for this and send it to the previous employer. If they don't answer it, then they don't answer it. Okay?
Do the attempt
Yeah. Okay.
and get on file. You need to have the proof that you did the attempt. It's
There's
not
a
just-
question there about federal investigation for collateral deaths, Hector.
Yeah. The question is, what gets you a federal investigation, collateral debts?
Okay, so let me explain here how it works. I want everyone to understand, and the agency hasn't changed much since I left. Okay, because they're not growing. Congress doesn't allow them to grow a lot. There's 2.5 million registered motor carriers in the industry operating about 8.9 million commercial motor vehicles and about 9+ million drivers. Now, look at the size of the agency. They have about 200 to 250 investigators on average. How many traffic fatalities do we have every year? It's crazy, unfortunately. Okay. So a death is not necessarily going to get you investigated. Okay. Because there's just not enough resources. What can trigger an investigation is your SMS data, which people unfortunately incorrectly call scores. There's no such thing as scores, but we'll talk about that later. So if your SMS DOT basic scores look terrible, and if that particular office in that state has the resources to send an investigator, and there's a fatality related to your accident, they may send an investigation out there, which could be either a federal guy or a state guy. Okay, normally the federal investigators are more stricter and more thorough than a state guy. But lately, many state DOT investigators have been getting good training, so their level of expertise is increasing. So what I'm trying to say is, just because you're involved with a fatality doesn't mean you're going to get an FMCSA investigation. But again, if your cards are right, then they may be. Okay. Some states have a ton of motor carriers, like the Illinois area, for instance, right? And that office may be inundated with compliance investigations. Then you go down to Kentucky, and they don't really have a lot going there, right? So if you're a motor carrier in a state that doesn't have a lot going, more than likely you're going to get an investigation. But if you're another motor carrier in somewhere like California or Texas, you may never get one. It just depends on something called FMCSA prioritization. You can actually Google that. FMCSA last year kicked off something called prioritization, which gives motor carriers an idea of how they're going to get investigated if and when they do.
You need to remember all these 4 documents you need to retain. After 3 years, you terminate that guy, the driver.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, application of employment, everything. 3 years after you terminate that guy. So that's the initial, and then we need to have the MBR, inquiry of the state agencies for driving record. That's every year.
Yeah, and it's important you mentioned that, because there's tons of products out there for the MVR product itself. You can go to Keller and all these companies out there that will sell you an MVR report. However, if you always want to make sure you have the right product of MVR, ask your provider for a CDLIS. The abbreviation is called SIDLIS report. Okay? And the regulation for that report is under 49 CFR 384.105. Okay? If you have a SIDLIS version of an MVR report, it will always be the most accurate and correct report you can use for an MVR. Okay? If your provider does not know about a SIDLIS report, you got to drop them and go with someone who does, because that should be their expertise. Okay?
Okay. Perfect. So that's an MBR. We need to run an MBR every year, and we need to have MBR from 3 years after execution. So that's MBR, and then we have review of driving record.
Well, let me hold you right there, Hector, real quickly, because there's many people who think that just because a rule doesn't exist, that they don't need to do something. And unfortunately, that's the worst way to think about DOT regulations, because there could be a rule for everything, and it's going to be bigger than the Bible put together. Unfortunately, the rule that says run an annual MVR is not enough. That's the standard practice. But if you have a driver that for some reason has repeated suspensions because they're failing to pay child support, they got a lot of speeding tickets or whatever, now that driver gets involved in an accident where there's a fatality tied to that, the DOT can build a case for you not doing your due diligence and checking their license as much as you should be checking. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, just because there's not a rule that exists for something doesn't mean you don't have to do it. So my recommendation is, if you have a problem child, like someone that's speeding and they seem to get their license suspended for various reasons, don't just do an MVR annually. Run it again. Okay? That $20 you pay is going to save you a lifetime of misery.
We came back to compliance with risk mitigation, right? Because if you don't run the MBR, you can have a CDL driver that is maybe suspended or not able to drive the CMV.
Correct. Clint just has a good question there I want to answer. Clint, can you read that? Can you read that question, Hector?
About which one?
Clint has a good question about.
Yeah, is it MVR versus EPN? EPN is sent out by DMV every year. Do we still need to pull the MVR?
What is an EPN?
Clint, I've never heard of one.
That's an employer pull notice.
No, run an MVR.
That is in California.
He said run an MVR, Clint.
Yeah, because the rule for the
pull
MVR
notice.
under 391.23 says request a report from the state driver's license agency. Okay, so until you see the FMCSA put out some sort of interpretation that permits it, no, you just do what the regulation says.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing too is lots of motor carriers are using the MVR report that their insurance agent puts out or runs, or the insurance agent may run an MVR. No, sorry, don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that because they're not the ones responsible for safety. You are. Okay. If for some reason they pull out the wrong product, they use the wrong type of MVR report, you're going to be responsible for not running an MVR, not them.
Just you guys know, Jorge Rivera is the guy who sued against the non-CDL rule.
Jorge Rivera is the guy that is battling the non-CDL rule.
Mm-hmm. That's Jorge Rivera.
Okay, we could help. We not a lot, but we could help make videos and post them.
What's that issue? What was that, Hector?
The non-CDLs, DACA.
The wind that wind that right now is frozen because of him. He win that battle.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. So we have review of driver record annual MBR.
Yeah.
We already talked about. Oh no. We next medical examination report, medical certificate. We have this question a lot. We still need to have the medical examination report on file because right now is electronic.
Okay. Yes and no, and let me explain here because I don't know if we're only dealing with CDL or non-CDL drivers. Okay. So the federal regulation for CDL requires that a driver's medical examiner data be merged to their CDL. Okay. So if you run a CDLIS MBR report, you're going to see that medical examiner's certificate data on the CDL report. If that report is valid, you technically don't need to have a medical examiner certificate in their file anymore because now the state has certified that they had a valid medical card. Okay. However, I still think that we should go above and beyond the bar and prove our compliance. That's where Hector talks about risk management. Keep a copy of that driver's medical certificate, the little card. Do not keep the long form in the file. If you get the long form in the file where the driver gets asked questions about their health, throw it out. You don't need it in there. Get rid of it. Okay? That should never be in a driver qualification file. This does not apply for non-CDL drivers. Non-CDL drivers, you still need their paper certificate on their person. You still need the paper card in their file.
Perfect.
Okay.
And
now, the one thing I want to make sure about the medical card that most people don't know, and I said this last time, there are no federal DOT regulations for the use of certain types of controlled substances like marijuana. But there is one rule under 49 CFR 391.45 for a medical card that says if you use Schedule 1 narcotics, which includes marijuanas. Now the president and his administration are in the verge of reclassifying Schedule 1 marijuana. They may take it out of a Schedule 1 narcotics. The only reason I bring that to the table is the use of gummies that have THC and CBD oils and things like that, right? So be very cautious about that at the moment right now. If your driver is using those substances, even if it's through something approved at the state level, it's still under a federal Schedule 1 narcotic. Okay, and they're not supposed to get a medical examiner certificate. If the medical examiner knows that they are using that, they're not, by the regulation, they shouldn't be given one. But a lot of medical examiners aren't. They don't know the whole story. So, understand that.
Well, even paraphernalia. I mean, a bong, a pipe, something like that. I mean, don't have that in the truck.
Oh yeah, that's under 49 CFR 392 prohibited items.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Yeah.
I have a driver who have the pipe with him all the time. The guy doesn't smoke, but has the pipe in the mouth all the time. And we have out of service, and the officer went crazy, and he followed this guy until he, turned out the MC.
It just looks bad, and if they do a DOT inspection and they write you up for a bad tire, they can put a little note. I saw that pipe in the vehicle.
Yeah,
It just looks bad.
looks bad. So, and finally, for DQ files, verification that the medical examiner is listed on NRCMV.
Yes, on the FMCSA's National Registry site, there's an option to do a search, and you have to enter their medical registry number. Now, there's lots of times where that site is down for whatever reason. If it's down, then make a note of it, and you can say you've done your attempt to look at it. Matter of fact, if you can, do a screenshot of it and put it in a file. Okay, because time is money, and you're moving fast. Because what's happening now is many states, but not all states, and Texas is one of them, have bought onto the National Registry, and the states merging that data to the CDL. Okay. So what does that mean? Now that means that many states are certifying that a driver's medical examiner certificate is good. So they also certify that the doctor that did it or the medical examiner is certified. Okay. But again, not all states have bought onto it. There's a list of around 8 or 9 states that still haven't bought onto that. So yeah. Now I want to make sure that we don't pass up one very important thing. FMCSA did away with this regulation back in 2014, and that's called the Driver Certificate of Violations. It's very possible for a driver to go to Florida on their vacation, get a DUI in Florida, and Florida can take weeks or months to tell their state, like Texas, that they got a DUI. What does that mean? That means under CDL regulations, that driver would have had a suspended CDL for that whole time, and they have been driving for you. So the list of the certificate, you can find it. You can't find it on the FMCSA site anymore, but you can find it if you do a Google search. It's called FMCSA Certificate of Violations, where you make the driver tell you what moving traffic violations they have had over the last 12 months. And then you make them sign on it. And the way it works is when you run their MVR annually, you make them do that form first, then you verify it against their MVR. And then under 391.27 for the annual review, you sign off that you have reviewed their MVR. And then now you're legit. You've done an annual review of their driver qualification file.
Of course. Any question, people, about DQ files? I want to talk next week about how FMCSA monitors motor carrier safety. We need to do that next week, because people need to
Let's
have
keep,
it
yeah, let's keep the extension of do it in segments, right?
in
Because
segments.
even the DQ files, if you're not too familiar with trucking, which a lot of the people that are in that group, they're getting new, they're getting their feet wet. If you're a dispatcher, make sure that you understand. That way you could actually tell your clients that you help with their DQ files. And if you learn that system, like you'll start getting more clients because you're handling all those processes. Remember, we're doing all this for free. We'd love that if you support us by sharing and reposting the videos that we have. Follow Joe at DOT CSA. He's more than willing to answer any questions if you send him DMs. Hector, same with Hector and I. We want our TikTok channel to grow. Some of the things that we're looking forward to do, December 13th, we will all be in McAllen, Texas, for a carne asada that we're sponsoring and putting together for our peoples. And if you're in the South and you can make it, great. If you're in the North and you can make it, great. If Ray from Pakistan is watching, if he can make it, great, because I have a lot of questions for him. That's a joke. But it's one of those things that we want to continue to grow the community, help people learn and do things the right way instead of the wrong way. Some of the things that are coming up that are changing, and I think it was, who was it? Hold on. Clint said something about the ELD laws changing. They are looking at making it a little bit more strict, making it a little bit harder to actually start ELDs, because a lot of people are manipulating data. Make sure that you're not manipulating data. We'll talk about ELD logs and everything that can happen for your HOS and later I guess lives. Follow Hector, as he has a YouTube channel where we're posting all the lives. So we'll post them in the group. If you're not part of the group, send us a DM so we could add you to the group. And this group literally is when we're telling people when we're doing lives. Joe shares information regarding safety. There's people in there that are asking questions about being brokers. So we're there just to answer questions, and we'll get to those questions.
Yeah, next Monday we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room, safety. How FMCSA calculates your safety score. Nobody understand. Even FMCSA don't understand.
Hector, and JJ, I want to mention one thing, and I want you guys to understand that it's becoming a data-driven society. I shared an article to JJ and Hector where Highways is looking at your data now to see if you have non-domiciled CDL drivers, and according to the article, they're denying loads and shipments for that. So what I'm trying to tell you is everyone is looking at data more and more now to decide if they want to do business with you. Your data is very important, and your footprint and profile on the internet is very important. They're going to look at everything and scrub everything about you before they want to do business with you. So it's very
Yeah.
important to follow JJ and Hector and myself with improving your business and getting ahead.
How you doing, Marvin? Hi with the
Oh, is
new.
that dude? That's Ram. What's
Yeah.
up, dude?
Hi with the
This
new
is
Uncle Sam and trucking. Maybe not.
Rams. He's still with us, Ram, over at Trio, or no?
Highway have the biggest target in the back right now. I bet there's a bunch of people who's trying to hack Highway right now.
Yeah, it's all over Reddit, man. People are trying to target Highway. They think it's unfair, and to me, it's a good system if people know how to utilize it correctly. But some people don't know how to utilize it correctly, and it's bad.
The problem is that it's needed. The system is needed because there's a lot of scam right now. That's the problem. And what's the problem? What's the other problem? They fuck it up with the small guys. I mean, there's good people that they're doing good and they still fuck it up. I mean,
Moises has a question, Hector, that I want to answer real quickly.
which one?
Moises Rios.
Yeah,
Now,
we can
everyone,
help.
I want
Send
everyone
it.
to understand this. I spent 15 years with the FMCSA from 2001 all the way to 2015, when the FMCSA had two standards of monitoring motor carriers. The first one was called SafeStat, and the second is what you all know. It's called the Safety Measurement System. Repeat, hear me very carefully. There is no such thing as DOT scores or CSA points. If anyone tells you that your scores are bad or your points are bad, they're making it up. I was part of the FMCSA team. I was one of several hundreds that onboarded the CSA program in 2010. It used to be called CSA 2010. There's a page, something called the FMCSA methodology guide that has about 300 something pages. You will never find anything, any reference to scores or points. What I'm trying to tell you is that's important because there's people that will try to sell you products and services to improve your scores and points. And it's all a waste of money. Okay. We have a methodology that we have practiced with several clients successfully on helping motor carriers improve their DOT data. But if someone is trying to sell you something where they're going to say that will make your scores better, they're selling you snake oil. It's not real. You're going to spend thousands of dollars for nothing. So follow up with JG and Hector on this. We can be a resource for you.
Yeah, we can help.
Yeah, reach out to the guy that asked about the CSA score. Reach out to Joe, Adam, and then message him. He'll
Yeah,
talk to
I
you
can
about
help
it.
you out directly too. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
you don't have to come to us. Just go to Joe. He's the expert. That's why we have him on here.
yeah.
We provide experts, and he'll help you if he can.
Matter of fact, we'll discuss this next week when Hector's have what you're talking about, Hector. That'll be part of the discussion next week on how the FMCSA looks at you. I'll explain
Yeah, yeah.
how it all works.
Yeah, next
But if any,
Monday, how FMCSA monitors motor carrier safety. That will be the topic next Monday. It's gonna be like more or less than an hour that we're gonna need to explain everything and run everything. But yeah, we need
yeah,
to do
tell everyone you can let's bring more people to this community. Let's hit let's hit it really hard. Real world subject. We're not guesstimating. We're not guessing here. I spent 15 years working for the FMCSA. I don't mind sharing this information. It's not top secret. We don't have anything special. There's no snake oil. We're going to tell you the reality of how it works. Okay. After I left the FMCSA, I worked as a contract in other government industries, handling all sorts of bad shipments like radioactive waste, nuclear material, things like that. This has been my line of work for over 25, almost 30 years. So I'll give you the reality that no law enforcement officer can give you because they were on the road. I was doing investigations. So, and I also have contacts within the industry as well. So I stay in touch with as many people as I can. We'll give you the real side of the story.
of course.
Carrier 411 needs to go away. I agree with you, Clint. I'm not a big fan of Carrier 411. It's a stupid platform. I don't care if they're watching. I'm not a big supporter of it because he stated it himself. He's for the broker, and it doesn't matter if they provide good valid data. They don't care. A broker could post anything they want in that platform, and it's their opinion, and he don't care, which sucks. But I agree with you. It's very one way. Highway's a little bit more open where you could communicate. They're still for the broker, which is understandable because that's who pays their bills. Some of the things that I do know, there's competition coming away that Hector and I are involved with and we're talking to that are going to compete with Highway, but it's going to be more carrier centric too. Why? Because there's so many carriers involved, and there's always two stories to each side, right? So I think there's better ways to vet carriers than the data that's provided in the FMCSA, because sometimes the data is manipulated. Joe could tell you about the manipulation of what carriers do, and so people make incorrect decisions based off that data. Well, I don't know who Search Carrier is, brother. We'll keep you informed. We're actually going to be talking to the guy, so we'll keep you informed in regards to this. Just keep watching, and you'll get to know. You'll be one of the first people as soon as they do launch. You'll be one of the first people that know, and I think it'll be a benefit to carriers. Nothing right now is built for carriers. There's no love for carriers. It's I posted something on LinkedIn the other day, and it got a ton of feedback, and actually got a lot of backlash where the trucking industry is the only place where the actual service provider doesn't control the contracts. And brokers were saying they don't control contracts. And I said, hey, do you send out a rate confirmation? Yes. Do you send out a carrier packet? Yes. So they do control the contracts. And by that, they also control things on Carrier 411. I don't think that should be possible. Yes, there's a lot of, I wouldn't even say a lot. There's a lot of really good carriers. There is. I would say you're always going to get 90% good people and 10% bad people. That's in any type of market. Yes, Acrisure or our friend Edgar, VR, what's the company name? What's Edgar's company name?
Edgar?
Yeah.
What Edgar?
V17 Insurance, VL17 Insurance.
VL17.
VL17 Insurance. So Acrisure or VL17 Insurance, you can DM me for more. I'll get you on over to them. Yesterday I received 3 DMs for insurance, and the person that I refer them to got back in contact with them immediately. One thing that I don't like to do is I just refer people. You guys make the decisions. I don't want to be tied or responsible for any decisions that you make. My job is to try to educate you, and everybody here job is to try to educate you to make the best decisions possible. Yeah, Jesse, you're right. You actually don't control any of the rates. The way that rates are, I made a post today. If you guys go to my video, I talked to one of my buddies today. The shipper asked for them to do an incentive program for them so they could get more freight. Basically, they said we want a percentage of all the earnings that you make off the carriers, and they'll give them more freight. So now the shippers are getting paid to incentivize like brokers or their partners to get more freight. So if they give them a 10% earnings, right, that means that they have to keep 25%, 35%. This is not good for the industry at all. I'm a part of another group on Telegram that's about 500 truckers. They're actually trying to put together some stuff to go to the government and regulate the companies, because it's getting ridiculous where all the money's going.
Mm-hmm.
Ram just made some comments.
What, Ram said something? What's up, Ram? Still waiting to be included again in the sales process. Oh, dude, just give us a shout, direct, Ram.
What if the carrier doesn't accept those rates? Don't accept it, brother.
You don't have to accept shit, but you ain't gonna move stuff. Here's a good topic, and I'm glad people are asking. When you're working off of spot boards and you're working ahead of time, don't accept those loads. Make the brokers sweat a little bit. Make them choose very last minute, and they hate choosing last minute because 1, they got a vetting process to do. 2, they got timelines and promises to their actual customer. And whenever you make them sweat and start booking freight when it's actually due, right? Then they actually have to pay. They have to pay you the wage that you want, because they're going to choose higher rates. And when they start choosing higher rates, it'll manipulate the data in the carrier's favor, where then data truck.
There's still so many carriers out there, brother.
I know.
I can place a load right now on email, and I will receive 50 emails. 50.
I know that, but here's the thing. I'm trying to educate people on what to do. I'm not telling them how to run their business, right? Here's the thing, guys. I don't tell you how to run your business. I just tell you what I would do if I was you, and I guarantee you can still find freight. They say that there's a shortage. I don't believe it. They say that the supply and demand is in favor of the shippers. I don't believe it because trucks are still moving. Trucks are still moving. I think people are just talking that there's an overage of truckers because they want to keep rates down. And let me explain why I think this is a bunch of bullshit. The people that are actually reporting that trucks are there's a oversupply are companies that are getting paid by brokers. I'll give you an company name. Freight Waves gets supported by a lot of broker data, and so at that point, can data be manipulated or misinterpreted? I think it can. I think it can. 70% of the loads don't get posted on DAT. 30 it's the 30% in the spot market stuff that gets posted. I see people scrambling for freight every day. I actually am helping with the RFP process for carriers. There's tons of RFPs. A lot of shippers are saying they want to work with carrier direct instead of broker direct. So it's a bunch of BS in my opinion. I think people are just trying to keep the market down and tell you things that are happening which they aren't happening. Any other questions?
No questions.
The Bible was manipulated. Que no le muevan al computer.
¿Quién dijo eso?
Quinta Dimension LLC. You don't want to hear my religious talks. That could go on forever.
We don't need to.
That's what I said. You don't want to hear it.
I'm already Islamic.
Well, as many times he's been to Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan.
He cut his pee-pee. He had to cut his pee-pee a little bit more. Now he only has an inch left.
Oh, shit.
I can afford to lose a couple inches. I don't care.
What?
That's Clint. That's 100% lack of knowledge and fear of what losing out is what keeps the rates low. 100%. I agree with you. Every time, I'm part of these groups with these larger carriers. They get like all these different fucking loads from brokers every day, like list of loads, and it's just like, tell me how there's freight out there without telling me there's freight out there is when brokers are sending you load lists, right? But they're sending load lists to carriers that are vetted and they know that they've worked with. Here you go, Joe. This question goes out to the FMCSA guy. I have my first audit in January. Well, that's not a question, Jesse.
Well, I think he wants to prepare and have some.
I know, Joe. I know, Jesse. What do I need to watch out for?
All right. Yeah, I can Jesse. Reach out to me. I'll send you my information and just give me a call. We'll talk on the phone. There's nothing to charge you for. It's just very fast, quick questions I'll ask you and take some notes and hope for the best. But it's pretty simple.
You need to watch out for failing it. That's what I'm going to tell you, Jesse. They're going to ask you all kinds of questions.
Depends on the mood of the safety inspector.
Yeah, it depends. Like, hopefully you don't get one of those guys that was a loser in high school that feeds on treating you like shit.
The worst are the ones that used to carry a gun. They don't carry it anymore, so they'll try to walk in with a gun if they're still working for, say, police or whatever. So,
Shit.
Those are the guys that think they have something to prove.
Oh, that's real. That's 100% real, especially in Texas.
My suggestion, psychology. I'll give you guys the psychology. If you guys have the chance, you want to handle any audit or investigation better, have them work with a girl. They're always easier on a girl. 9 times out of 10.
I have one of those guys one time in an investigation, and I bring my kid. Used to have like 2 years, and he was. You're a single parent? Yes. Well, okay. He went
Yeah,
into.
makes it easier. It's psychology, man.
It is.
All
It
right,
is.
people. Any other questions? The freight boss, you got any questions, bro?
Hey, JJ, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is just for research purposes. Um,
Trannies are
can
not real. They're not real women or real men. They're trannies.
right. The way it always you guys throw around freight guard and it's almost like the last nail in the coffin, and then how it's such a bad thing. Is there some sort of freight guard type report to report bad brokers so that everyone can know not to deal with certain brokers? Is there anything like that?
No, there is not. But I'm going to build a website that one is where you could report non-payments, and but the system will capture the information where there's non-payments, and that way, at that point, we actually have true data because there's a lot of people that'll be like, "Don't work with these guys; they never pay." We're actually going to verify the report of non-payments, and then. In regards to that, they're going to be able to report carrier sales reps. A lot of these freight guards are coming from direct carrier sales reps, so we need to put the fear into carrier sales reps. And this website, hopefully, it'll take off and go viral. The reason why we want to report the carrier sales reps, if they're going to make it hard for you to work, we want to make it hard for them to sell freight. So, for example, if Hector puts freight guard on there, somebody could report them, and then people could go out and see like all the freight guards from let's just say ABC company, right? And if they want to book with somebody and they see that Hector's the one that's booking, they're not going to book with that person. And so at that point, this person is going to have a hard time booking freight, and their carrier manager is going to say, why aren't you booking freight? And he's going to find out really quick that there's a website out there with his name that shows that he freight guarded somebody, and we don't want him in the industry. And do I think freight guards are necessary? In some situations, yes. But a broker has the ability to do not use. And it's funny because now brokers are like, hey, we want to warn other brokers about people. Well, do other brokers pay your paycheck? It's a weird thing that you're trying to help your competition. You're trying to help your competition. You know what? Just put them on D&U. That way you don't have to worry about them hauling your freight ever again. And at that point, it doesn't matter what other people have. You should be able to vet carriers better. And if you can't, that means you have no relationships. And if you don't have any relationships, you get the fuck out of the industry, because that's what the industry is about. A lot of tech is coming into this world. It's funny, and Hector and I talk about it all the time. There's so much tech in this industry, so much tech, and they still haven't been able to reduce the fraud. It's actually increased. It's increased, and I believe there's a reason why it's increased. It's increased because there's no real relationship. So people are looking at data, and you and I both know that people don't know how to read data correctly. And so they make decisions based off of that data, and some people lose out because the data is incorrect, or somebody just doesn't know how to read it, and they'll give a freight to the guy that actually is going to screw them. I know a company that the other day they lost 10 loads of electronics, high end electronics, and they have a vetting platform. And I asked one question. I was like, "How many times have you talked to this carrier?" And they said, "Well, we don't really know the carrier. We just vetted them." And I said, "Why would you give somebody high end commodity that you don't know?"
And that's a problem that come up because we're a bunch of pussies. Oh,
Yeah.
this guy insult me, and this guy talk bad to me, and he doesn't say good morning. Stop being a pussy. Be a man.
Stop being stop being a
That's a good.
pussy.
That's a good advice.
It is like you have a lot of 25-year-olds in today's day and age, right? There's people that are growing up in a different era. the people that are working in trucking are still they're not new age people, and if they are, they're usually from a different country, and those guys from different countries ain't pussies, guys. So America happens to be pussies. Like it's just one of those things.
We're just softer people.
Yeah, they're
Soft
pussies.
people.
Yeah, they're soft
This guy didn't respect me. Why? Because he asked you for an ETA. He called me twice.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
mean,
disrespected. Shut the fuck up.
one of my carriers just lost some loads because they called him and told him that he needed to call his shipper to hurry up to load them because they're 2 hours late on loading, right? And I don't think that was wrong, but the guy got pissed off and they removed the customer from the actual loads. They're a bunch of baby cries, man, in the industry.
There's a baby crisis on the industry. It is.
There is a baby crisis, yeah, baby crisis.
There's a bunch of whiny babies on the industry.
Yeah, you got a 24-year-old telling a guy that's been in trucking for 15 years how to do their jobs, and he doesn't understand sometimes traffic issues. Right now, there's a lot of snow delays, weather delays. Right. At the end of the day, there's also a thing called broker coercion. We'll talk about that in a later stream that you guys need to really understand. Brokers can't tell you how to do things. They're intermediary. They're supposed to make sure that they're doing everything by the FMCSA laws. We'll have Joe on that one too. That way you guys can understand how to respond correctly to these pussies. To the baby crisis. That's what we need to.
We need to smack their parents in the face. Like, why you don't fucking raise your kid better?
We don't promote violence on this channel. That was a joke.
We just execute violence.
No, we don't do anything, dude. You're gonna get kicked off of TikTok
Again.
That's what you.
No, like Truckers United got kicked off, bro.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, he had like 35,000 followers or 30,000, something like that, and he got kicked off. And then he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, here's my new channel." I was like, "What the fuck?" Some brokers don't want to build a relationship. They want the carrier that will move the load for free. I don't disagree.
I don't disagree, but yet you need to call more than once. I mean, you don't build a relationship in one call, one load. I mean, that also.
I don't disagree with that, but like, here's what you can do: is you could get an auto dialer and call the same broker a bunch, and then be like, keep their lines really busy, and that way they can't move a load. I've thought about doing that.
Well, people overseas to do it for you, so.
Yeah, or you can have, hey, Ram, my buddy, Ram's looking for a job. Ram's looking for a job. And cheap, we don't believe in cheap. We believe in fair, but everybody has to agree. It's the wild west, man, and people learn how to make money from trucking. Everybody's making money from trucking except the trucker, which is crazy. Who's William? They don't even know how to spell William.
Could be a unique name, William.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is unique. Give us some questions. If there's no questions, we could bounce out of here. I gotta fly to Chicago tomorrow, most likely, but hopefully not because it's snowing.
Snowing bad, bro.
Yeah, bro. I know. They asked me to come because their processes through the. I was on 4 meetings today for like data truck. It was a long day, bro. Long day.
It's still a long day. What are you talking about? You're still
yeah. Afterwards, it's it's 9:20. It is a long day. But yeah, like before I got on here, I was on the message or on the team because their onboarding team, the safety team, and the claims team isn't using the system, and then we found out that there's some glitches in the system, and Makes it everybody starts complaining. Oh, I don't like the system. It's just like, okay, what do you want to do? Spreadsheets? It's horrible.
Yeah, but data truck best TMS out there.
Yeah, data truck is pretty good. It's pretty good, and they're making updates. They have a lot of stuff that a lot of brokers or a lot of other carrier TMSs don't have.
Looks good on you, Hector.
If that's best.
DITAD. DITAD's a good system. DITAD has a lot of large carriers that they use. They're great when it comes to planning. The planning boards, they're really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good products out there. People,
Yeah, the
here's the
problem
thing,
is they don't have good salesmen. That's a problem.
horrible,
Horrible
or
salesmen.
any salespeople at all.
Yeah. Jack is the worst.
Jack is horrible. Eric's horrible. Alec is horrible.
Alex is the worst.
Worst. But they don't watch our show.
I don't care.
they won't see this. They don't watch our show. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna head out of here.
Peace out.
Buenas noches,
Oh,
fellas. Good night.
if you guys are looking for dispatch tools, Bubba AI, they just sent me a jacket. I'm gonna make a video because they sent me a real nice jacket. They don't like Hector. They didn't send him one. But it's nice, bro.
They sent me a jacket.
Did they?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
I don't have it here.
It's in your jacket.
They sent me a jacket.
Oh, Canelo's watching. There you go. Look at that. Fucking Canelo. What's up, Cinnamon?
Where's this guy?
Who?
It's a. I will tell you the brand.
Who can I go to if I want to hire an owner operator? You can go to anybody, bro. You can hire anybody. Yeah, they gave me a good jacket, bro.
Carhartt, right? Something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a good one, bro.
They sent me one too.
Where is it?
I will not wear it. They need to pay me.
They paid me $100, $150 or $200 for this jacket. I'm gonna be like, hey, Bubba, dude, that's our guy, Bubba AI.
I know, but he needs to pay.
Dude,
I will wear it, just not on air.
Toppin won't do this, man. If you guys need a dispatching service that could call multiple people and keep track of rates and you guys could program it how to negotiate, Bubba AI, that's our guy. Toppin. Make sure that you guys hit him up. Try the program. It's free. He's utilizing it to make his systems better. The guy is rich. Toppin is rich. That's why he's doing it for free. He doesn't need money. He's fucking rich. He has what for if you guys need a ELD service, Trucker X, 50,000 users. Fucking rich. So don't pay more than $5 for it because he's already loaded.
Super low.
Super low.
Goodbye, guys.
All right, guys. Peace
Good night,
out.
everyone.